Another crucial method in taking care of your healing crystals is charging it. After you have cleansed your healing crystal, the next step is to make sure that it is properly charged. Just like a phone that needs energy, charging healing crystals often has strong influence on how effective they can become. Depending on your intention, the charging of crystals can be different from cleansing it. As discussed in the previous section, cleansing your crystals means that you are able to remove the internal and external impurities in it, making it viable for usage again. The only problem is cleansing alone does not restore the energy that was lost in the crystal. This is why it is crucial to also charge them. Just being able to distinguish from both is already a huge step up, given that most guides and gurus on the web seemed to have mixed up this whole activity of cleansing and charging healing crystals as if they were the same. As such, we will proceed in this article by laying out some of the most efficient and effective ways to charge your healing crystals. Point 1. Sunlight. They say that all life in this world is dependent on sunlight for them to even exist. True enough, sunlight is considered as one of the most powerful and significant resources that we can ever have. This is because sunlight is pure energy coming from the sun, which is necessary for the survival of all species. Just as plants need them for photosynthesis, sunlight can prove to be one of the most efficient clean energy resource. Furthermore, sunlight can also influence the human psyche, as exposure outdoors with sunlight often alleviates depression from being routinely stored in a closed space. Nevertheless, it is a well-known fact that sunlight indeed can provide a lot of energy to almost anything, and this includes our own healing crystals. As such, it is necessary for healing crystal users like us to harness the power of sunlight by making sure that our crystals are exposed to it from time to time. By doing so, sunlight can restore the lost positive ions from our crystals, especially when they are used for strenuous activities. Also, aside from being effective, charging by way of sunlight is also an efficient method given that it is not too time and effort consuming. If you have a spot outside your house or your window, you can simply expose your cleansed healing crystal so that it may absorb the energies radiating from the sun. Being both effective and efficient, charging by way of sunlight is often a popular choice among healing crystal users. Point 2. Moonlight. Similar to sunlight, moonlight comes in second place as the most popular way to effectively charge your healing crystal. Often revered for its mystical properties, moonlight is associated with magic, mysticism, and divinity. Its very presence, the light reflected from the sun in different manner, brings much awe to mankind. But compared to sunlight, moonlight will fill in more of a magical energy instead of pure energy on your healing crystal. Given that moonlight is merely a reflection of sunlight as it passes through the moon, it gives a different touch to the same energy source. As such, experts would say that although they have very similar applications, sunlight and moonlight must vary per healing crystal depending on your intentions. If you want to direct energies that are in favor of inwardness and self-clarity, then moonlight is the way to go. This is because the kind of light emitted from this resource is more in tune with self-reflection. By being a reflection in itself, moonlight can actually improve the reflective properties of your healing crystal. Lastly, similar to sunlight, this method is also a bit more practical than usual, given that you only have to place it under direct moonlight. The only problem is that its effectivity may be in question given the varying amounts of moonlight depending on weather conditions and moon cycles as well. Point 3. Bearing in soil. Strength, magnetism, banish negativity. Another way to supercharge your healing crystal is by returning it to its natural habitat, the earth. While it may be difficult to return it to the deepest parts of the world, burying it in soil can be one of the easiest ways to achieve the same effect. Given that healing crystals are created through the intricate processes of nature, burying them in soil can be one of the effective ways to mimic the same process. As you do so, it will re-energize your healing crystal, making it fresh and ready for its succeeding tasks. This is because the soil provides a stable ground from which you can charge your crystal from all angles. Burying them surrounds them with earthly elements, strengthening their core vibrations. Furthermore, this charging method has been associated with banishing negativity. By gaining ground, we are able to do away with the unnecessary ideas that don't help us on our goals. In the same way, our healing crystals are also reinforced as the soil removes the negative energies in it while charging it. This intention mixes the idea of cleansing. With this, you can simply bury your healing crystal in a bowl of soil, about the same standard of fishbowl. However, you need to make sure that you replace the soil you are using every now and then, especially if you bury multiple crystals at the same time. 4. Surrounding it with plants. Aside from utilizing soil, another way is to surround it with plants. While the soil is usually associated with strengthening and banishing negativity, surrounding your healing crystal with plants is similar to the prior point. However, the difference lies in the fact that the word plants here can refer to a wide range of different types. Such classifications can heavily influence the kind of energy that is transmuted to your healing crystal. For instance, if you are seeking balance in your life, then most likely, you've been using jade as your healing crystal. But overusing this crystal will lead to dampened effects, a natural result of strained usage. As such, placing your jade crystal around plants can charge your healing crystal. 5. Exposing it to wind, air, communication, intellect, understanding. Again, harnessing one of nature's most abundant resource, wind or air, can be a stable way to charge your healing crystal. As for its nuance, wind or air energy is often used for crystals which are directed towards communication and understanding. Healing crystals like agate can greatly benefit from this resource, supercharging its vibration and energies which enhance the way we communicate and understand others. By placing it simply outside your window where air is likely to hit, your crystal can be charged over a span of time. This is a good method of charging your healing crystal because you can simply opt to leave your crystal there as the wine transfers its energy into it. However, you have to take note that this method involves sensitivity to wine patterns and schedules. On some days, there may be a lack of wind strength, making it futile for you to leave your crystals outside. You might be leaving it there for hours and wonder how come its magic is not back. Thus, you have to pay close attention into such, in order to make sure that your healing crystal is good to go after that long charging session. Point 6. Keeping it with carnelian. Commonly referred to as a healing crystal, the carnelian itself can be used to charge other crystals. This is because the carnelian can be used in a multitude of ways, one of which is to make sure that your other healing crystals are prepared for tomorrow's activities. What's even better is that for most part, the carnelian resonates well with other healing crystals, making it a non-issue whether their energies mix or cancel out each other. As such, to keep their crystals automatically charged, most crystal users store a good amount of their collection on the same box, but with a carnelian inside it. This is because as a healing crystal, the carnelian provides energy and vigor to those around it. Whether it is you with your own intention or your crystals with their own vibrations and energies, the carnelian can be a good and staple resource to utilize. The only downside to this method is that the carnelian will also slowly lose its charge as you place it close to other crystals every night. You can think of it as a power bank for your mobile phone. While it's good when charged, it requires charge as well. Point 7. Soaking in water. Similar to the cleansing methods mentioned above, soaking in water can also charge your healing crystal. By soaking it in water, you are allowing the positive ions in it to penetrate your healing crystal, giving it a renewed sense of energy. Depending on the type of crystal and water that you are using, a charge may happen instead of a cleanse or both. The key here is identifying your intention and the function of the articles that you are using. For instance, if you want to charge your overused abalone shell, after cleansing it, you can soak it in salt water. By being mindful of its nuances, you are restoring the abalone shell to its natural habitat, ensuring that you are bringing back that vigor it has lost. Applying the same principle, you may select which healing crystals are apt to be charged using this method, creating a unique approach that is specifically customized to your healing crystal. With this, it can be expected that your thoughts will be amplified, and your intentions will reach the depths of your healing crystal, making the whole charging experience more worthwhile. 8. Using heat or fire. The use of fire has been mentioned on the cleansing part as one of the many ways to get rid of negative energies on your healing crystal. Similar to the water method, the usage of fire can also be a way of charging your healing crystal. But unlike water, which provides a fresh revitalization of your healing crystal, the use of fire as a charging method focuses on heat. When we produce heat, it is translated into energy. We can see, for instance, the traditional coal-powered plants which produce energy for the whole city. By burning coal, we produce heat and create steam that powers the turbine. Nonetheless, heat truly can become an energy source, one that we can take advantage of in charging our healing crystals. Uniquely, the method of charging by way of heat, we are also somehow purifying the healing crystal that we have. As such, this charging method can be an efficient and effective way to charge your carnelian that has been used as a power source for other crystals. By using heat, you are clearing out unwanted energies in your carnelian while ensuring that new energy is coming in. Thus, before going to a trip and using your carnelian as your energy source for your essential healing crystals, make sure to charge them first using this method. 9. Thunderstorm charge. Another method in this series is the use of thunderstorm or lightning. Although this might not be on your everyday list of experiences, the unique charge given by a thunderstorm can quickly replenish the energy that is lost on all your crystals. Thunderstorms and lightning are results of static electrical charges that are built up and condensed in the clouds, as the tiny bits of ice bump into each other. These electrical charges are then released, causing thunderstorms in different parts of the world. By exposing them to thunderstorms, your healing crystals will be able to absorb the negative ions that it carries with it in a swift manner. As the lightning strikes while the thunder roars, your healing crystals will be filled with energy. Furthermore, the good thing about this method is that it is a universal one, making it very much applicable to all of your healing crystals. The only problem is that such occurrence can be quite rare. Thus, the next time there is a thunderstorm brewing, perhaps at least the ones that don't require evacuation, make sure to bring out your chest of crystals, place them near the window, allowing its raw force to take over and fill them with energy. 10. Herbs. Last of the many physical ways to charge your healing crystals, smudging or sprinkling herbs on them will allow them to restore the lost energy. Given that each herb has a unique property in it, combining them with the proper crystals can lead to a strong charge, allowing them to reboot the vibrations of your crystals as if they were new. Peppermint, for instance, is a popular herb in this category, given that it is relatively easy to obtain. But aside from such ease, peppermint is also able to provide relief from pain and stress when applied, especially when one is experiencing cramps or bodily pain. The same function can be sought for using peppermint as an alternative, providing users the ability to re-energize their healing crystals in a healthy way. By placing peppermint leaves on top of your healing crystals, they will calmly regain their energy, making them more potent for the succeeding tasks. Furthermore, the endless number of herbs can be used depending on the function of your healing crystal, as long as you are correctly able to identify it. This makes herbs as a specialist type of charging, but one that is focused on the specific niche of each crystal it deals with. 11. Directing one's energy. Moving on to the psychic ways of charging your crystals, you must know that your own intentions can charge them. Just like in cleansing crystals, directing one's thoughts to it can transfer the energy from your own mind to the healing crystal. Given that our healing crystal translates its energy through vibrations, our own individual vibrations can be transferred to it as well. This method can be useful when we need to hand over our crystals to someone else who is in need. For instance, someone is experiencing stomach pain but the agate in your pocket is depleted. Transferring your own energy can quickly address this issue, making it viable for an instant use. However, while convenient, this method should be one of the last options because it can drain a significant amount of energy in you, which will require you to rest. Meditating on your healing crystals can be quite a task whose effectivity can be relative depending on your focus and concentration. As such, this method is often left for the advanced users of healing crystals, given that all the other methods mentioned above are likely to be more potent. 12. Casting spells. The last method to be discussed in this section focuses on how we can utilize spells in order to restore the power of our healing crystals. Given that there are certain spells involved in crystal healing, some of it can be used to revitalize the energy that was lost in our used crystals. One example of this is using tarot spells that are specifically for protection and safety. By applying it on your black tourmaline, its protective powers are amplified tenfold, making it more viable in protecting you from bad luck and overall negative energy. Furthermore, some would even go to the extent that